you to do it again.
It's yeah. I don't know how. I guess the community is already kind of dictating what's happening with the Lazy J. You know.
In
So,
all honesty, I'm actually surprised at how much positive feedback you've gotten on this, man. Like everybody just loves it and just can't wait for the next episode.
this one's sponsored by Blue. You get the Blue Yeti mic logo.
I have the Blue Yeti mic. You see the nice little red dot right there too, and on the other side it says Blue, but you won't be able to see that.
We need some sponsors and some we got to get some capital in here.
Yeah, when I say a couple of words out there, Cloud9,
yeah, man,
arguably,
right?
These are all teams that should be sponsored by Red Bull. I'm just saying.
Cloud9,
that's games, baby.
That's a gaming team for real, man. So how are you gonna do this intro?
Well, I mean, this intro should have already started, as we normally just started off mid-conversation with somebody.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. The Lazy J, no one knows when it starts, so...
Exactly. So for right now, I'm just going to
airwaves.
ask you a simple question that usually dictates the start of every one of your interviews. What are you drinking exactly?
Oh, yeah, okay.
The exact description.
So I had this on when Malloy was here. I had it at my brother and sister-in-law's house. They had a pre-made, so it's the Return of the William Shakespeare is what we've got here tonight.
Oh, Return of the William Shakespeare. Nice.
Yeah,
I like it. Well,
it's like a cinnamony whiskey with some orange in there. It's like a take on an old fashioned in a way, but with cinnamon sticks. So it's pretty good.
You're adding a little bit of spice in there. Let me ask you a question. Is that also a CNI original or what?
Oh yeah. This is from Brew. This is Brew Next Door, and this is one of our pre-mades. I like our stuff. Nice. Our stuff's pretty good. Wow, what do you got over there?
So what I've got over here is the peach. This is a concoction that is based off of one of Glitch's drinks, the Jam. But instead of having blackberries and raspberries in there, I actually put peach in there.
Oh, so okay.
It's just delightful. And
what's
cheers to you, sir. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
What's the alcohol base in that thing?
I'd say about 2 shots of slow and low rye whiskey.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's delightful.
I'd
say about 2 shots.
One of the many that you won from trivia.
Yeah, I'd have to say it was slow and low and redemption bourbon that I've got. I think about 4 bottles of.
Right.
By the start of this quarantine. By the end of it, I won't have any bottles. But
I remember the slow and low because of Dallas.
Social.
Dallas has that slow and low going.
So let's see. Welcome to the Lazy J. I'm your host, Scoops.
This is so weird.
And with me today, I've got Master Joe.
Hey, everybody.
Who is leader of arguably and Fire Nation in the local scene.
Hey, guys.
So, yeah, it's great to have you on, man. How's your day been?
I'm on my own show. This is so strange. This is like Jimmy Fallon sitting down in the guest table, getting interviewed. This is
great.
Well,
you know what? We'll have to hire somebody to do music. That way we can go ahead and just have them take it away and rim shot you in.
There's been some conversation about having the Hindenburg come in substitute for the Roots.
Oh, do not toy with my emotions. That would be fantastic. That would be amazing, bro. Are you kidding me?
Shout out to
Showtime
Anthony
on
Hall,
the harmonica.
Showtime. Yep, Scott Crane,
right.
The Hindenburgs in the house. Well, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for interviewing me, Joe. The idea came up because we were talking about the Queen.
It's an absolute pleasure.
I don't know how it came up, but someone was like, "Oh, well, you got to do yourself," and it's like, "Well, how am I going to interview myself?" And then you came in, so this should be
you were going to do some really cool post magic where you'd be interviewing yourself on one screen and the other screen would be the other side of your face, and
far too advanced be
insane
for the lazy.
That way, but
far too advanced for the Lazy Day. That sounds like a complicated J dive. I don't want to get into that.
Fair enough. All right. So, yeah. What cool things do you have going on over at CNI, by the way? I mean, you guys are obviously making these brews to go from, or you've got the drinks to go from Brew.
Mm-hmm.
But anything interesting going on over at CNI that you could tell us about? Some interesting projects you've got going on?
Yeah, man. We've got quite a few things going on. Like CNI's been, we've been able to operate as essential business, which is great because some of the clients we have are essential business. So we have to continue to service that in. So that's been cool to stay open. A lot of the stuff we've been doing has been focusing on the internal things that we make. So we've got some short films up. We have some, my wife did come over. She dropped her phone.
Make sure that your wife sticks around, because at the end of this, I've got a number of questions from our Facebook audience that would like to make sure that she's around for one of them.
Oh, okay.
One of them specifically. I want to make sure she's there.
Very interesting.
That's about it.
But we've been pushing our own content and like getting it up on Amazon. So we got some feature films up there, some short films, some good edits and stuff. We've got one that I like called Christmas Eve is on Amazon. It's free for Prime, so like if you have Prime, you can watch it. It's pretty good. But all that's shot with our stuff. We're a Red Studio, so we're doing a lot of things, and we have Uncreative Radio, which is like another radio show that we do on there and talk to industry professionals. And there's everything that we're doing kind of in the client realm as well. So we're working on things I can't talk about all the time, but you know how it is. Like we're doing shoots, political shoots. Things are starting to come back, which is good, because before it was like everybody was canceling everything because everything was getting coronavirus. So it's starting to come back up a little bit. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, but it's been good.
I'm happy to hear that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, seriously, business is starting to come back, and I am very pleased about that.
Yeah. And so the coffee shop, of course, has been doing okay too. So that's been nice.
Yeah, it really has been. And honestly, I can't wait till Glitch opens back up and we can go back in and start tapping again, because honestly, my fingers are just itching.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Just a damn shame we have to wait so long. Mm-hmm. But for the safety of everybody, we should carry on.
Soon.
So when you did the interview with Malloy, you asked him how he got into the game. And one of the things that you mentioned is that you found out about the game being a glitch through Richard. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, Richard told me that they've got this cool game called Killer Queen. Because Richard, I knew from, he would come over to CNI sometimes, and we would do like First Friday and some things like that. So I knew him through, actually, I think I met Richard or came in contact with him because he's optometrist, right? He's in that whole eye medical world and eye doctors and whatnot. So on CNI, one of our DPs, Tom Van, his wife is an optometrist, and all those guys, they all know each other. So Richard knows Tom and his wife, and so they all knew. And I met Richard through that connection. One day he showed up, I think to talk to Tom or something, and then I met him. But yeah, so we've been cool since then. So he told me originally, hey, there's this cool game, Killer Queen, at Glitch. And I was like, Killer Queen? I know that game. Like, what?
Wow.
So, I went and checked it out. I was like, yep, that's Killer Queen. So I guess I'm going to come here forever now.
Well, yeah. Now, see, that's the question I actually was going to ask you a little bit further on that, because, like, what actually attracted you to Killer Queen from the get-go? And when Richard told you that it was a glitch, what made you go, okay, I've got to go there and double-check this and get into it as hard as you have?
So I've talked about this a little bit before, not like in an interview or whatever, but like just, talking to people and asking questions. I found out about Killer Queen. This had to have been 2015, I want to say, at a convention up north called MagFest. Well, they don't like that you call it a convention, but it's a convention. It's called the Music and Gaming Festival, so MagFest. Very cool. They do it in the National Harbor in DC, usually at the beginning of every year. This year was like January, I want to say 2nd through the 5th, something like that. It's usually in that window of like immediately after New Year's. And it's awesome. It's 4 days. They have a 24-hour arcade room, but it's all like there's tickets to get in. Like you buy your 4-day pass, but then the arcade area, like imagine something like SuperCon, and you have that whole like exhibition hall where all the vendors and all that stuff goes. But imagine that broken up with vendors and then just video games, like arcade video games is in a section, and then there's vendors, and then there's console video games, and then there's indie video games, and it's just like that whole space, like it's huge, and it's 24/7. You can be down there. It's insane. So there was a Killer Queen cab in the arcade section, and I was doing MagFest because some buddy of mine's they ran for a number of years a charity stream called the Mega Manathon. So I'd been doing Mega Manathon with them for a number of years. This next year was 2015, so we're doing Mega Manathon again, 72-hour live stream during the con, raising money for Child's Play. And I'm done with my shift, so I went down to the game room to play some stuff. They had this game, never seen it before, but there's a huge crowd around it. and I saw it was like 5-on-5. And my earliest memory of playing Killer Queen, I didn't know this at the time, but Sarah Greenwood from New York, she was on the cab. Again, I didn't know who she was at the time. To me, it's just some girl in a Tracer cosplay outfit, like a really good one.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, I would never have got. Okay.
Yeah, Sarah Greenwood was cosplaying as Tracer from Overwatch. She's on the cab. She's playing Queen. I have no idea who she is. I have no idea what the game is. It just looks like fun. And I'm like, there's a crowd. This has got to be something. So I eventually am able to get on the cab. Somebody popped out. I came in. And Sarah stayed on. She's Queenie. And everyone's just talking about how great this person was. Now, I didn't know what the roles were, like whatever. But like, oh, this girl, she's really good at this game. So I'm on there. I'm like, okay. And we're playing. And she's a monster. I'm like, at that point, just a berry bitch. Like, I was the guy that everyone was like, take the berry, put it in the hole. Like, that was me in 2015. So it was really funny, like, thinking back on it. But I played it, like, nonstop the rest of the time. That, like, it was just so fun. And people kept coming in and playing. I was watching Sarah queening. She was queening in the middle. And I picked up that, like, that was the position. Like, that was the most important one. Because, like, when she died, it was like, oh, like, she would kill the other guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, if you die, you lose. So I started playing that there. And it was a lot of fun. I got kind of good at it, but it was like, everyone wants to swap in. So you can't hog the cab like you want to. But that was my first experience with Killer Queen. I'd only experienced it at a convention, and I only saw that one. So in my brain, I thought, this is just some indie cab, like, one-off thing. No idea it was a national thing at that point. So when Richard told me they have it, I was like, I have to go and confirm that this is what I think it is, because I thought that's only at MagFest, and apparently it's down the street now. So I was livid. I couldn't believe it. Hooked since day 0.
All right. Well, that's certainly the way that things went. I like hearing that. Let me just check my notes. Okay, so I have to ask you a couple of questions with regards to this, too. You've been one of the scene dads over here. We have 3 scene dads, basically.
Yeah,
we have
I'm
one
scene granddad now.
And we've got Joe P., you, and Sebi as scene dads over here. At the start of this, I know you didn't really want to have
Sebastian's
that
a scene dad now? Sebastian's like a scene uncle.
Okay, we'll call him a scene uncle here. But he does do stuff where he sets up the...
He does do stuff, yeah.
But since you started taking on this role, how has your approach to the scene shifted? Because you don't just play the game, you also are trying to grow the scene and make sure that everybody's happy within it.
Yeah.
And trying to grow it and make it expand to become the best scene that it can possibly be. How has that shifted in your eyes, the way you play the game, or how you view the game in general?
It's definitely shifted how I view the game. I think before that became a thing, like if I'm thinking back to the early days when we were doing the leagues and whatnot, it was very like back then, like I could always kind of get a read of the room, I like to call it. Like I could tell what was going on in terms of like who was playing and like, who was cool and kind of who was like, in like the very early days. But it was more like from a standpoint of just like myself, like, there was no scene, there was no like community. It was just I go to the bar and these people are there and we play this game. There was no Facebook group, like there was no Monday draft, like there was no sense of whatever. It was just you go. So in that way, I kind of approached it like I approached the only other games that I played at the time, which were like Smash Bros, StarCraft. I had some stuff with StarCraft back in the day. Shout outs to Tallboy Jordan and Amar if you guys are watching yet again for StarCraft. But so I kind of, was more internalized about it. And then I don't know how the transition to Scene Dead happened. I think for me, it was just kind of like one of those things where if you excel at something, people will kind of
automatically throw you into that role.
Yeah, they kind of just put you there. Like I don't think I ever asked to do anything. I think it was just a thing of like, yo, hey everybody, what do you guys think about doing this? And then everyone would share their opinion, and then I would share my opinion, and they would be like, oh, let's do what Joe said. Like it was, I don't know how or why that happened, but after this thing of, oh, you're Scene Dad now, it was originally me as Scene Dad and Deanna as Scene Mom for South Florida. And that was good. Like we were teammates and we would just talk a lot and bounce ideas. And then from those ideas, it became like, what else could we do to like advance the scene? from like a basic standpoint of we want to play more games and like do more stuff and hang out at the bar more. So I think it's shifted to like this role of just trying to keep a pulse on everything, trying to keep a pulse on who's coming out, who's playing, who's into what, who's like really serious and who's kind of casual and who's like, more leisurely. So that way you kind of have this idea of how you can like connect to those people and those different kind of subsets, you know what I mean? And just making sure that everyone like feels like they have a voice. I feel like I become like a soundboard for a lot of people in that way. So
yeah, and you have a whole lot of convictions for this game. Like a lot of the OG players basically come in on Mondays sporadically at best. I mean, you're the only consistent person that's there and constantly showing up so that you can get a beat on the new people that are coming over for drafts and trying to see if anybody's going to excel.
Oh yeah,
and try to transition into a real team player.
Yeah. I mean, to a degree, I think there was a time I was doing that more than most people and like trying to very conscientiously make an effort to like recruit and go on Saturdays and teach people the game. And I kind of got a reputation for like being this teacher kind of person. Yeah. I think more recently I've kind of fallen out of that, but, which is kind of why I say I've relegated into like scene granddad mode now. But I would say, the focus has definitely always been on trying to figure out how do you encourage people to like stick with the game, and then also once you find those people who are serious about it, how do you like encourage them to like get good, and like they're asking questions and like, oh, I want to get my tech better, I want to do this, I've got this goal, I've got that goal, I want to travel, I want to do that, and it's like, oh, okay, and you want to try to build a plan for those people too and help them. So
and I mean, I don't envy your position right now because everybody's talking to you right now. Everybody knows that after the quarantine, we're going to be resetting the entire scene. So you are currently in the midst of trying to figure out what the best way to approach that with. And I mean, everybody is giving you their 2 cents. I know I've had a number of conversations with you. I know Floyd has talked to you about it. I know that Malloy has talked to you about it. And I don't want to add any more pressure on there. But I definitely appreciate all the work that you're doing, man. It's hard, and I just got to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're doing great work, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's definitely a community
it's
effort.
It's a thankless job to begin with, so I just wanted to make sure I put it out there for you.
I accept that. I appreciate it.
Fair enough. All right. So last year at Queens Gone Wild.
Oh shit! All right? The first one.
You had. The first one, yeah.
Okay.
The first Queens Gone Wild, our first invitational. You had a mixed team, and you landed in 3rd place with this mixed team. All right, this year,
first podium placement in a tournament,
and it was all local players too.
Or wait, no, second podium placement, but that was the
second podium placement for this tournament.
Yeah, I forgot. I had Chattanooga before. I did a solo to Chattanooga, and we got 3rd or 2nd there, I want to say. No, we got 3rd. I was playing with Andrew Wilkening, and we got 3rd.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like having a local team actually achieve podium with you leading it, how does that make you feel, and what do you see yourself doing travel-wise with arguably going forward, or do you see us resetting things?
All right, well, so there's 2 parts to the question, right? The first Queens Gone Wild, I played with the mixed team. Right. There was discussion to play with arguably at that tournament, but as it kind of rolled out, I had people who had asked to play with me at that tournament, and there was some miscommunications there, and I kind of had to work that out with the guys. Not everybody was happy about it, but we smoothed it over in the end, and I think it was a good result. So we're all cool there. But originally, we were going to play at Queens Gone Wild 1. Because South Florida has this pride thing of, like, South Florida only. Yeah. Like, we try to shy away from the mixed scene thing when we can and whatnot. But that first one, I think I was still, like, in my kind of a learning curve for myself.
Yeah,
in a way. So I played with Wilk, BK, Casey Campbell, and Deanna was the only South Florida person on my team at that time. And we pushed to 3rd. And from that, I picked up a lot of mentorship. I got mentorship from Andrew Wilkening in Chattanooga. When I played under him, he was queening. And then come Queen's Gone Wild, he's playing with me under me queening, as a warrior. And BK obviously super talented, another one of the OGs of the scene, national scene. And these guys are just like, I mean, it was like being in the hyperbolic time chamber, man. They're just feeding me all this stuff about how to play, how to think. I always remember BK's telling me, watch their queen, and for everything she does, generate a reason in your head for why she did it, and then another kind of argument of what she gained or lost as a result of doing that thing. And if you can't come up with a reason why something was done, or if you come up with why but it was a loss, then don't do that, is basically what he said. He literally said, don't do that. So yeah, I was like, makes sense. Queen goes left, should have went right, died. Don't do that. Okay. So that was like, you know, absorbing a lot. I didn't feel like I had what I needed at that time. But then, you know, we go to Hive Hustle, and then we go to, you know, Queen's Gone Wild coming up again, and we are playing with arguably at that time, and that's a full South Florida team. That's me, you, JP, Floyd, and Richard Stool, the secret sixth member. Coming after playing Bumble Bash, BB4, which was great experience. We were in a tough pool, like we played against some really top talent. We played Woody's team. Knee Howdy ended up winning all of Bumble Bash, was in our pool, so we played them, you know, and we took a game off of them in pools on
we did. Not only that, we've also gone against scenes that are definitely older than us. I believe Phoenix is older than we are.
Yeah, Phoenix is older. We beat Tyler Maloney's team. I forget what the name was.
And we basically had we had the New York team that was spearheaded by Newhouse.
I don't know if it was 60% or another 60%. One.
It was 60%.
Well, there were two New York teams. There was one with Rob Newhouse, and there was another one with Sam. And Sam ended up getting second, but I don't remember what those teams were. I think we went against 60%. Mm-hmm.
I want to say we did.
But it was really cool, like coming in there and figuring out like all that information of how to play at the top level. So by the time Queen's Gone Wild 2 came around, I think as a team that time we felt way more prepared. Like if we were prepared more as individuals at Queen's Gone Wild 1, arguably was prepared as a team in Queen's Gone Wild 2. Because I always joke on the guys at this, but you know, like I said, we had a little bit of a scuffle around Queen's Gone Wild 1, not teaming together. So they went. Richard has connections to people, right? So Richard somehow convinced Domish to queen for them. So my God! So it's Domish, Richard, Floyd, JP, and I want to say maybe Don. And like if you think about that team now, it's like, oh my God, that is a strong team. But like I said, team wise, we weren't ready. So like that build as it was at the time at that tournament was just no good. They didn't get very far. But you know, we were very cool about it, you know, the whole time. So I always appreciated that with my guys. Like that's when I knew like, okay, we have a little conflict here, but we got through it and like we're all cool at the end of the day. So like that's when you know you've got some real ones, as they say.
No, you know what though? It shows a level of maturity on everybody's part and whatnot that you know you guys moved past it and went on. So so speaking as one of the preeminent queens in our scene, what would you say is the largest obstacle that a new queen coming into the scene has to overcome? Is it tech? Is it time on cab? Is it, you know, the skill gap between the original players or OGs versus them being a new player? What do you see being the biggest one? The biggest obstacle they've got to overcome. If they can get through that, then they're unlocking Super Saiyan.
The biggest obstacle to me that like a new person has to understand as queen, and again, well, there's two trains of thought. There's like a casual train and then a competitive train. But I think the casual train is always the precursor to the competitive train. So I think about it there first as a newer player, right? So for me, biggest obstacle is you got to be fun to play around and with. Like,
yeah, that kind of makes a big difference, doesn't it? You want to have people team up with you.
Yeah, you have to be able to be the type of person that people want to play with and for. Like, there's a lot of arguments around people. It's like, oh, this person's queening. I don't want to play for them. You know, like, I don't want to play with them. No, I don't like their queen style. No, they get too mad. No, they take it too serious. Like, it's always a personality thing first, usually. Even like in tech or whatever, like, no, they don't take the game seriously enough, or no, they just, you know, they play for stats or something, like, you know, super tech, whatever, but no teamwork. Like, so you got to be fun to play with and play like around. So I think that's probably the number one thing, to be honest. If you've got no personality, like, you can't queen. You got to have something. You have to have some kind of personable approachableness to you, because it's such a social game. I just don't see how you get anywhere if no one likes you.
Yeah, no, that kind of really put the damper on the entire prospects of playing this in any capacity.
That being said, I don't think that there's anybody that can't play queen, you know? Like, I think everyone can do it. I just think, you know, like with anything.
No, honestly, I mean, I would have expected something different, like taps or just, you know, experience or just, you know.
To be viable, absolutely. But like as far as hurdles, I think, to being it, you gotta be fun. You have to be fun through it all. You gotta be fun through getting, you know, just wrecked. You know, you gotta be having fun through getting fed an omelet just off rip. You've got to be fun, like, around. You have to be fun in your growth. You have to be fun in your development. You have to be fun in your actual play. You know, not screaming at everybody on the cab, like, you know, because I think all the other things are kind of givens. Like, if you want to be successful in the game, you got to know how to shoot the ball. So, like, you know. That's kind of where I go with it a little bit.
All right, that's an excellent answer. Holy shit, I was not expecting that one to be so good. All right, so yeah, you started a team for our monthlies called Killer Heats. You started Fire Nation to go ahead and compete against Run SFL, Laser Wolf, and Joe P's team of bartenders. They changed their name frequently, so I can't remember the names they've had. But what's it called?
How many names he has?
Because you actually started your own team and you hand selected a lot of those players. I mean, every single one of them you basically hand selected, and you actually personally trained them. I remember coming to the bar, practicing for either Queens Gone Wild not Queens Gone Wild, Bumble Bash or what. But I would remember seeing you guys arriving there at like 5:30 or 6, and you would be there with a stopwatch in hand, you know, guiding 2 on one side of the cab, 2 on the other, and you were just training them hard. I was just like blown away. I was going like, okay, these guys are gonna fucking overtake us in 2 months' time. These guys are gonna blow us away.
So, if it were that easy.
If only. But I mean, we also experienced growth during that time, so it would never be that quick. But you guys still have won your share of Killer Heats. You guys have won. It's not like you guys have never won any of them.
We've been a contender. We've only won one.
Always.
But we've been a contender, I think, in all of them.
True story. And what would you say is, when you developed the team, okay, what would you say the proudest moment of creating the Fire Nation team was?
The proudest moment?
Yeah, the proudest moment of Fire Nation, in your opinion. It doesn't have to be getting any placements. It could be somebody achieving something they weren't able to do before until they came under your tutelage or worked as a team to work together.
The proudest moment. Well, Fire Nation's a bit of an interesting team, right? Because we had built in a 6th player in Brando. Brando was our original alternate. So the team was, of the players that I picked, and you're right, I've spent a lot of time thinking about the kind of team I wanted to build. I was thinking about Laser Wolf, honestly. I've said this before, and the thing I always liked and respected about Laser Wolf was the fact that was a team that was so consistently the same group of guys. And like through their victories and their defeats, it were always just the same group of guys. And I thought that was really cool. Whereas you've had some teams where, like, when they win, it's great, but when they lose, it's like, oh my God, you know, their whole team implodes. Laser Wolf always was just win or lose, we're Laser Wolf. Like, it's these 5 dudes. You know, give or take a couple for reasons, with work and whatever. So I always thought that was cool, how long, the longevity. So I don't really know what I was doing before I made Fire Nation, because Arguably was never really a local team. Arguably was specifically built to be the team that included at the time, I think, and still I think, the top talent of South Florida. It's not like an Olympic, Olympic medal team where it like changes out every year of just, there's no like application process or like whatever. It was just, we wanted to build what I thought was the best team, like what I thought was the best team. So, again, like for anyone that's outside of the scene, it's not like we elected the members or like, held a vote or did tests or something and tried to, scientifically build this team. It just kind of worked out that way. So, but it was a strong team. And whenever we played at a Killer Heat, it was just, at the time, not like competitively viable, I think. It was just too strong of a team at that time. And there's argument to be saying, well, if we just kept it that way, then maybe, everyone else would just kind of rise to the level like we did against Laser Wolf. But I think it was just, the gap was too big, and I think it started demoralizing people because, arguably he's paying, like, let me just give them my $10 now, like that. So that was never a local team. So I don't know what I was doing.
In all honesty, I kind of failed to remember anything about that point either before Fire Nation. Like, I remember coming up to you and trying to get you to join or run SFL because I wanted to make it a traveling team a while ago. But you turned me down on that, and it's because you wanted to start your own thing. I remember you telling me about that.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's and throughout the process of creating Fire Nation and making your own team and guiding them to their second place victory in Texas, taking them out to what was it, Baltimore?
Yeah, we went to Baltimore after that, the Baltimore Brawl 4. Yeah.
Has your opinion on creating a team and the struggles that go through that, what do you feel about that? Have you grown because of it? Do you feel like there's something you learned about yourself throughout that process?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you're already a leader at CNI. You're a manager there, and you're already a leader in our local community in KQSFL. But I mean, this was you spearheading a team that you wanted to see going forward, becoming a contender in everything. And you didn't just have sites for South Florida. You also had sites nationally, and to prove, you went to Texas, you went to Baltimore, and you've gone, I want to say Minneapolis, but I don't think you did go to Minneapolis.
No, Fire Nation didn't go to Minneapolis, but
you guys went to Jacksonville, though.
We did go to Jacksonville, yeah. We got second place in Jacksonville. We didn't place in Baltimore. I forget. We didn't make top 5. I think it might have been 8th or 9th, something like that. Maybe actually, I think it was more than that. I think it was like 14th or 15th. I'm not sure. But I think coming back to your first question for proudest moment, I think proudest was definitely the Dallas tournament results, because that had a lot of lead up to it. We were practicing specifically for that. That was a build of the team that included myself, Anthony, Patrick, Jabin, and Brando. Because Gabby was not really keen on traveling at the time, because she's got her kid and like she's not as mobile as the rest of the guys are. So we took that team there, stayed in the house. Like, that was the first travel experience for Fire Nation. So I think the lead up of practice time to like really understand what we're getting into, because those guys had never practiced, like they'd never traveled before, they never competed in a tournament before outside of Killer Heats. Jabin is like, at that point, I won't say brand new to the scene, but he got into it after Queens Gone Wild won, so he missed the biggest like tournament local opportunity that he could have had. And then kind of same for everybody else, they kind of weren't really playing at that level until post Queens Gone Wild 1, so they missed that. So that considered, with the lead up, with the training, with the whole travel experience, and we went there. We're the only team outside of the DF Dub that was there. Everyone else is Austin or some Texas team. No one else went, so it was a lot like Jackson that way. But it's talent. Like, we knew Eduardo was there. We knew some of the Aux teams were there. We knew Brandon was there, and these teams that were really good. And we're in our pool, and it wasn't like easy. And then we went and we fought, and it's proud for me because we just fought, man. Like, in the last 3 games, I think that we played the winners. We played Eduardo's team. We went to game 5. We lost. Then we go to losers. And then we played this other team that we beat before, I want to say like 3-1 or something. And we go to game 5 against them, but we win.
Right.
And then we go back to fight Eduardo's team, and we go to game 5, and we lose. And it's just like, in that moment, you're like, fuck. But, I think about that. It's a brand new cast playing against these other people who have traveled and done all this already. And we got second place against them in our first travel tournament outward, like podium. So I was like, that's pretty up there, I think. So I think that's my proudest moment. In terms of what I have learned about myself with this team, I have high expectations.
Speaking as one of your team members, I completely agree with you.
Is that true? Is that a bad thing? I have high.
No, it's not. It's an absolutely.
I don't think I have unreasonable expectations, but
that's the big caveat.
I do have high, and I don't know if it's that I have high expectations, or if just like the general landscape of the world of society with the advancements of technology and talking versus calling and texting or emailing, how quickly you get back to people in communication, like these kind of things, right? These nuances of social communication with people. I think that I have higher expectations or higher than average expectations than people do currently in today's landscape. I think my expectations as they are right now are more in line with the expectations of communication and kind of like goal setting and like making something of yourself that were more relegated to like the 90s, early 2000s. I think I'm an old head in that way. There's a certain level of like work ethic and mentality that goes into those things. Now, I say that not to say anything bad about anybody on my team, but I just think in terms of like the practices of, okay, let's run these drills. Let's talk about this theory. Let's analyze this game footage. There's a lot of things that I want to do, with the purpose of getting better. And these are things that I'll do naturally. Like I will be at home while everyone else is like Netflix and chill. I'm like KQ and lab. Like I'm watching tech videos. I'm rewatching footage of like, oh man, I shouldn't have gone there. I'm taking notes on my own stuff. And I'm trying to like build plays. I'm building formations. I'm looking at things and trying to pick up habits of how other people play. So when I play them in the future, I'll be like, yeah, he's going to do this. Yep, he did it. Okay. And like trying to, so like expectations, right, for competition.
Right.
And I think that the members of the team on Fire Nation, with the exception of a few, like I'm really surprised with Patrick. Patrick, I didn't know this, but he's super into football, and like the stuff that he knows about football, he always travels to Atlanta specifically to watch the Falcons play. Like, like he's into that. He knows the coaches, he knows the players. He was very unhappy, or very glad rather, that the Chiefs, I think, was it San Francisco Chiefs or something?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City. Yeah, there was the coach of the Falcons at the time went to go coach the Chiefs, but he didn't think the coach did very well at the Falcons when he was there, and he like kind of ran him into the ground a little bit. Yeah. So he keeps up with these things. He knows the backstory of everything.
I want to say that's Andy Reid that he's talking about, and I noticed something on his car today, actually. He's got a Tampa Bay license plate.
Yeah.
And he actually blacked out the Tampa Bay flag. I was like, oh, shit.
He's invested.
He really doesn't like the Tampa Bay at all.
He's invested, but he's got that grit. And I noticed in Baltimore, he would go and watch the other teams. There were two pools, and like we're playing on two separate calves, and he would go and watch. And, hey, these guys over here, they're doing this kind of a strategy. They're running a 3-1, and it looks like they're really pushing berries off the start. Nice. And I'm just like, oh, they are. Like that kind of stuff really like, gets me going. That's what I want to hear. So that's like something that I've just kind of come used to. Arguably does this really, really well. So, they're always feeding, always thinking. You're in the group chat. We've got like Floyd will throw something in. JP will throw something in. Richard will come out of nowhere at 3 a.m. in the morning talking about some new drone tech that he discovered. Like it's a feeding ground. Fire Nation was much more of a training ground. And I knew that going in. I knew I was taking players who were at a lower skill level at the time of when we started the team. And they've just, blown up. But I knew what I was getting into. I was going to build a team from scratch that didn't have very much experience, that wasn't proven, and I was going to develop that team as, Michael Jordan joining the literal first run NBA Bulls, in 91 or whatever it was. The Bulls weren't bad. They were not good. They were very bad, in case nobody knew that. So that was interesting. I think I learned I have high expectations. I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that that's something I like more concretely learned about myself. So if I was rebuilding a team now, like from scratch again, I think that would definitely influence like the people that I picked currently on that team. Now that I kind of know that.
I will say this again: you have high expectations of the people that you plan on playing with, but by the same token, they showed up all the time. They did them, they were there to go through the ringer with you to make sure that they learned what you needed them to know so that they could go ahead and become the team that they became in the end. I don't think it's a bad thing to have those expectations because it drove them. It gave them something to strive for until they could start getting those wins at Killer Heat.
Right.
So, yeah, ultimately, not a bad thing to have, and that's something that, you have to learn about yourself. But now that we're going to be reshuffling the teams, I'm going to ask you the same question you've asked everybody else. Your perfect team.
What's the team? I don't know if I want to. Well, Joe asked me, and I kind of just picked arguably, so that's not fair.
Okay. Well, I was going to change it up by saying if you don't want to choose locally, choose nationally.
Oh, wow. No, I can't break that train. I can't set that precedent. Everyone will come after me.
Okay, fair enough.
South Florida only.
Pick your favorite superhero team then. I don't care. I need to hear a team from your mouth. It doesn't matter what it is now.
Arguably is still my superhero team. I think without a doubt, because, to have a superhero team, you have to have telepathy. You got to have that team synergy where if I know I'm on the left, JP just knows and he's on the right. And we don't talk. It's just instinctive. We just know. So I think that's still going to be my dream team. That's my super team. But since I've already answered that and given that answer, people that I think I could be competitively viable with locally, I'll say locally, right? If we reshuffle the teams and we're just thinking about okay, what's what? I would love to play. Well, we'll build it out. So I think Speed Warrior, I want to have fucking Dave.
Dave is such a phenomenal player. I mean, I don't see any negative to that whatsoever. And his style is so different from JP's.
Yeah.
That you can only learn from it.
It's a very different style. And I think Dave is an incredible speed warrior. He I've talked about him on the Loy's episode. He's always gunning for me. I like the speed warriors that are always gunning for me.
Yeah.
And, hopefully, when we get things going, everyone's not just trying to speed up and chase me now. But it keeps me on my toes, one. But it also helps me figure out more about my own game. A lot of the timing things I figured out about speed, and Malloy will say the same thing. He said, I've learned, 90% of the things I've learned for fighting speed warriors, I learned from JP because he's just always coming for me. So you work out that timing, you figure out what you can get away with, what you can't get away with, where you can get to, where you can't get to, and kind of what routes are best and, how to slip them and do all this stuff. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But you always got to have them going after you. So I think of the speed warriors that are out there that I haven't played with, obviously I played with Jabin. Same thing with him. He's a monster. JP I've played with. He's a monster. I have never played competitively with Dave ever. Ever. At a local or what have you. I played with him at draft, but Killer Heat, never. Because they're always Laser Wolf. So yeah, I would definitely want to play with Dave for speed. Flex, okay. I mean, I would love to say Fez. Everyone picks Fez. Of course. So I'll leave Fez, on the table for now, just because I think that's the obvious pick. I would pick Fez if I could.
Amazing flex.
But he's got IQ, man. He's got the IQ really for sure. If I'm not playing with Fez and I'm not picking up anybody I've played with already, just new people. Right. Man, Flex is tough because I don't think anybody really has it yet in South Florida except for those folks on that team. Alex Santiago is getting there. He's getting there quickly. Mm-hmm. So maybe that would be a good pick because him and we have a good vibe. And like I said, he is, from what I can remember, when he's on Warrior, he is, he's a little annoying. So that's always good, right?
He was really annoying. And I'm surprised how well he's transitioned to objective and to becoming a flex. But no, he was one of the most terrifying speed warriors for a new person coming up in the scene. Next to Jabin, I think he was coming up real damn fast. So yeah.
So I think I would go with Alex for like a flex type thing. For vanilla, I have to pick Malloy. Malloy, if I'm not picking Floyd, Malloy is just the best vanilla warrior in our scene, period. And it's because he just knows. He has the windows locked down. So I would definitely have Malloy on for vanilla specific. So that's Dave, Speed, Malloy, vanilla, Alex, Flex. For objective, I honestly, I love playing with Patrick. If I wasn't picking him because he's on Fire Nation, I've played with him already competitively. Yeah. But if I didn't, I would pick Patrick. Patrick's my boy. I love the guy. Like, we hang out, we talk outside of Killer Queen. I've known him since outside of Killer Queen. He's one of the first kind of people I met when I moved down here in 2016. So I've known him for almost as long as I've been here. Met him through a mutual friend of ours at doing First Fridays. So that was cool. Yeah. But if I'm not picking him because I've played with him already, boy, for objective, Larry White. People sleep on Larry White. Larry White's one of the old heads, Wimbledon bronze.
He is very unassuming, without a doubt, but he is surprisingly good, without a doubt.
Yeah, very unassuming, but Larry has, in the short amount of time that he's been back playing, he has juked me so many goddamn times. By himself, I'll say. So Larry White, absolutely, as the up-and-coming pick on objective, for sure.
All right. So,
that's a strong team, I think.
That's a really good team. Now the real question.
That was the fake question.
No, that was the precursor to the real question.
Oh, okay.
Poop or spiders? Well, we already know your answer because you told us it'd be poop over spiders. Fair enough. We got that. So we gotta switch it up.
Okay. We're doing a poop or spider style question. I see. All right.
It is. It's a would you rather, I guess. That is a would you rather.
That is.
And I don't have anything as clean as poop or spiders, so I'm going to go horrible. So welcome to it. Would you rather have your testicles licked clean by a dog, or get punched in the face by your wife as hard as she possibly can? That's a tough one.
Well, I mean, I've got a couple things to consider here. One, are my testicles dirty?
Yes. You put peanut butter on them.
Wait a minute. I put the peanut butter there
out there to lure the dog. Yes.
So I have specific. Okay, because my first thought was, well, if I get punched in the face, my balls are still dirty. So I don't know. Maybe I need to get my balls cleaned. But if I, being the sick bastard that I'm not, put peanut butter on my own testicles for the purpose of luring said dog to clean them, I gotta take that L. I gotta go for that punch.
All right, there we go. We've got that. All right. So
what do you think? Is that good? Is that a good answer? Go for the punch in the face.
What'd you think?
She's hamming over there. I don't know what she's thinking.
Fantastic. All right.
She said
I'm going to go over to the audience participation aspect of this, and we have a number of questions, predominantly from Sebi. So he wanted me to ask poop or spiders. I don't know why. We already know that answer. I'm just going to let you go ahead and answer it,
It's poop, Sebi. It's poop. I want to be free.
Okay.
I want to be free.
How does it feel to be 193 years old?
Dude, it's honestly pretty
great.
You
look remarkably young.
Thank you. It's the genes. It's all the melanin. It's the genes.
Black don't crack.
That's a race benefit right there. As a race benefit. But yeah. No, it's. I'll tell you what. When I hit 30 was magic. 30. I don't know what happened when I hit 30. When I hit 30, I no longer cared about anything. Like,
that's a nice freaking.
There was so much stuff I used to care about before 30, and I didn't really care about a lot. Like, I don't care about what people think and like this and that. But like, oh man, like 30 hit, and I just. Like, is the AC on or off? Is it kind of warm in here? It's a little warm. I don't care. Whatever. Yeah. Like, I guess I'll just remove more clothing than like try to turn the AC up more. Like, I don't care. What's the quickest, easiest way to deal with this? It's fine. So that was amazing. 32 doesn't feel very much of anything. Although I did wake up today, and I thought the most amazing thing was I woke up, which I never wake up early on Saturdays. I don't know what it is, but I got up at like, I don't know, like 9:30, something like that. And the wife, she loves to go for walks. We've got this little nice complex you can walk around. It's a circle, so it loops really well.
Yeah.
But it's hot usually. So if you want to go for a walk, you kind of have to do it in the morning. I don't get up in the morning. By the time I get up, it's like 11 and it's hot. So it's like, eh. But I'm like, let's go for a walk. And she's like, okay. And so we're getting ready to go for a walk, and I'm sitting in the bed, and I kid you not, I just had zero thoughts. There was a moment where I had absolutely no mental energy doing anything. I was just sitting there.
Clarity, my friend. That's what you're striving to achieve for in yoga.
Right. Just nothing. Like nothing.
Nice.
It was amazing. And I told her, I was like, ask me what I'm thinking right now. She's like, what are you thinking? Nothing. I have no thoughts. This is amazing. I couldn't believe it. Like, it's best thing ever.
All right. Very nice. All right. We have another one from Sebi here.
Greedy ass Sebastian asking all these questions.
Here's the thing. This one's just meant to hurt me. So, who is the best objective runner in South Florida?
The best objective runner in South Florida is Joseph. How do you say your last name?
Becerra, but it is not. Even I will have to admit that I'm not the best subjective runner. As much as I'd love to be.
The best objective runner. That's a tough one. I feel like
it really is.
Because objective runner, it depends on so many other things. I think as objective, you, Fez, Richard, even like Levy, and he's back now on Snail. Basically, the best objective runner is anybody that can bump anybody else at any point in time. So I guess right now that's probably Richard. Richard is probably the best at the bump tech because he's been drilling it the most. He's been working on being innovative with it the most, I think. But I mean, I've seen you bump people dead. I've seen Richard bump people dead. Patrick dead. Larry even dead. Dennis bumped me to death. I think I spoke about last episode. So anybody that can do that and just have the awareness of I do more than just sit on this goddamn snail, like you're just miles ahead of everybody.
All right, sounds good.
But if I got to answer, I'll give it to Richard. I'll give it to Richard.
All right, sounds good. What's the deal?
What's the deal? The deal is like no one gives a fuck what the deal is. That's the deal.
Good.
The deal is that there's no deal.
There is no deal. Nani?
I mean, if I'm gonna go with Nani, then I gotta follow that up with Jotaro. Would be the answer to that question.
Okay,
Nani?
very good.
Jotaro. That's what I.
How many of Sebastian's questions will you answer today?
I mean, unless all of the questions from here forward are Sebastian's questions, then I will answer all of Sebastian's questions.
That is good. And what is your favorite joke?
Oh man, favorite joke. Okay, this is a stupid joke. I'm sure everyone's heard it. This is like my, middle school.
Your go-to.
Yeah, I don't tell this joke, but it's just this is the only joke I'd ever think of when anyone asks me what's your favorite joke. It's stupid. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I mean, maybe laugh. It's a joke. It's a joke. You're supposed to laugh.
It's supposed to make you laugh.
It's so dumb. All right, it's okay. It's a color joke, right? It's a color joke. Not a race joke, like literal colors, like crayons. So, all right. The phone goes green, green. So I pink it up and I say yellow.
Oh my god.
That's my joke. That's my joke.
I understand why you don't tell it to anybody.
That's my joke. You gotta say it with like some kind of an accent, The phone goes green, green. So I pink it up and I say yellow.
All right. Amar asks, since you played with him, what makes Pierre a good queen, and how can they improve further?
I know.
Pierre, but
no, I know exactly what he's doing. Yes,
I'm
forever.
sure.
Pierre. Let me tell you, Pierre is. Oh my God, I got a chance to play with Pierre in Phoenix competitively, first time. He's been to South Florida. I played against him.
Yeah, he's been to South Florida a number of times. The guy's a great dude.
When I played against him in South Florida, he came to a draft night. He said, I'm going to win this. And then he did. And I said, oh my God, this guy is the truth. So from there on, I was like, okay, I respect Pierre. Like, oh my goodness. Man does what he says. But I played with him in Phoenix. Pierre's a great queen because he never loses his cool. He has intensity. That's not to say he doesn't care about anything. He cares. He cares a lot. A lot. I've seen him, like, as my wife drops her phone again, I've seen him like dispute things, you know, like he's one of these guys, if there's something wrong with the cab, he's gonna speak up about it. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna let stuff slide. So he's definitely got intensity to him, but he never loses his cool. He's always on target. So like if he's on Last Life, for example, like you would never know. Like he doesn't say. He just starts all of a sudden, you can't kill him anymore. He goes into like Super Saiyan Blue mode. Like now I've seen this. Like I've been on the team when we're in that moment and we're all dead and wiped, and he just comes out of nowhere. Like, okay, I guess I'll start playing now. And then he just kills everybody and gets us back up. And it's awesome. He's a great queen. How can they advance?
Yeah. How can they get better?
We just, like, honestly, man, and I think it might even be like a grained in thing. We just got to spend more. We got to spend the time. We got to spend more time. And we have to, like, kind of show the receipts a little bit, I'll say. That's all I'm going to say about that. Time and receipts.
Time and receipts.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds good. All right. Let's see. Top 5 movies. Go.
Oh, top 5 movies. Okay. Incredibles comes to mind.
Really?
A Goofy movie comes to mind because I literally just watched that over my... they have kids.
Yeah,
Good movie.
That's actually an awesome
Powerline.
movie.
Powerline. The best celebrity that never was. Third movie. Oh, Jesus. Total Recall. Love that movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I know you did. The wife's trying to take credit for Total Recall. No one's denying that you introduced me. That's her favorite movie, too. Or one of them.
Yo, what?
Yeah,
Best
yeah.
Family.
Yeah, the
Okay.
original. None of that reboot bullcrap. A lot of 80s movies were great.
Colin Farrell doesn't belong in Total Recall at all. So,
Yeah.
boof.
Jesus. Brain wants to, huh? No. Deja vu. Brain wants to say that Toy Story 2 is in that conversation.
Okay.
That's more on like a personal level. That movie, in a lot of ways, hit me a couple times in life. Jesse in a Box. That's all I'm gonna say. Never put Jesse in the box. Prospector.
Okay.
Fifth movie. Jeez, I want to do something kind of recent. I want.
You don't have to, man. It's a favorite movie.
It's a favorite movie. It's a favorite movie. I mean, I wish I could say something like Star Wars. I wish I could say something like, you know, but.
Maybe original trilogy, but...
Well, this is a movie that not a lot of people will know, but it is one of my favorite movies. It's the same kind of vein as a Goofy movie in terms of that animated, you know, style. Cats Don't Dance. If you know this movie, respect. Cats Don't Dance is an amazing movie. Amazing musical numbers, great talents, but lesser known. And shout outs to Darla Dimple and Max.
Okay. I've never heard of that movie, but I'm going to have to take a look at it now.
If you can find it, yeah, give it a look. It's pretty damn great. It covers I won't give it away, but it kind of touches on some of the class issues and race issues in the same way that American Tail kind of covers the American immigrant struggle and issues in that kind of coded way. Cats Don't Dance covers the race and social issues of Hollywood. So.
All right, that sounds fantastic, actually, then. All right, I'm going to have to take a look at that now. All right, top 5 video games.
All right, that's way harder. Top 5 video games. Shit. Okay. I'll put Killer Queen on the list because it is a video game.
That is
pretty damn good. I've been playing a lot.
I mean, Jesus, we spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, Legend of Zelda, but like which one? Like as a game? I'd like to say the franchise, but that's cheating. I think I had the most fun at the time with Wind Waker. OG Wind Waker, by the way. I was an early adapter, not one of the heathens that decided to play it when it looked good on the Wii U. I played it on GameCube when no one wanted to because they came up with that realistic-looking tech demo and then released Wind Waker, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is this kid shit?" I was on that box. That was great. So maybe Wind Waker was a good one. I really love Breath of the Wild, but Wind Waker for...
Oh, it's great. Majora's Mask is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Twilight Princess honestly took the best thing out of every game that came out that year or two and just put them all in one game. It was amazing.
Yeah.
There's tons of great Zeldas. Every single one they come out with is fantastic. All right, so we got that. Killer Queen Zelda.
Yeah, Killer Queen, Wind Waker, Smash Bros. Oh, Smash 4 specifically. Smash 4. I played that the most out of any Smash Brothers game. Wife wants me to say Halo. Halo is Halo. Like, Halo is Halo. putting Halo on the list is like putting Gears of War 2 on the list. Like, it should be there, right? But like there were elements of the game that I liked. I wouldn't go back now and play Halo, you know? Like, I wouldn't go back and play Gears. I would go back and play Wind Waker. I would go back and keep playing Killer Queen. I would go and play did I say a third game just now?
Yeah, Smash Brothers 4.
Smash Bros. Yeah, I would play, well, Ultimate now, but
Smash Brothers, for the most part, also had a storyline that nobody really understood very well. Did you ever take a look into that?
yeah. Well, from the original, the 64?
From the original all the way through. If I'm not mistaken, even 4 continues the trend.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's the creator theory.
Yeah, creator. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting. I think that's cool.
All right.
Let me see.
So you got the third game out there.
That's 3. Oh man, Last of Us comes into play. I don't think it's like one of my favorite games, but definitely most impactful. Like, I got sucked into that story. I'm not like looking forward to Last of Us 2, but like Last of Us 1 for its story, I think it sits with me. You know, it comes to the brain. Huh? No. Wife is saying Detroit Become Human, Deus Ex Human Revolution, and or something advanced or whatever.
I could see a case being made for Deus Ex Human Revolution, but not Detroit Become Human.
It's a good one-off, but like once you've done it, it's like, okay.
Yeah, you're not picking that back up. On the plus side, you can change your playstyle on Deus Ex. But I mean, honestly, if you're gonna do that, you could just say that the original Deus Ex would be there. Go on.
I put Last of Us at 4. I'm taking that off because I wouldn't go back and play it. Donkey Kong Country 2. I would play that.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Donkey Kong Country 2. I would definitely play that again. It's favorite games. You gotta want to play them still.
Exactly.
Close tie for 5th. Star Fox takes it, but I'll give you my honorable mention. Star Fox 64 specifically. I play that game all fucking day. Quote that game till I die. But Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars would be an honorable mention for 5th. If it wasn't so goddamn long. Which in RPG terms, it's not that long, but I love that. Love Paper Mario, the first one. Thousand Year Door was cool, but annoying. All the other ones sucked. The Wii one was cool. Hope for this new one that's coming out with the Origami King. That actually looks like it's returning to form and not doing that sticker-ass bullshit. So we'll see.
All right, so Amar's last question on here is best barcade outside of Florida.
Oh, outside of Florida. Someone's been watching the Lazy J.
Oh, right?
Yeah, we've been talking about the bars. Oh, outside of Florida. Okay. I'm gonna piss some people off, I guess. All right, outside of Florida. So Jacksonville doesn't count. That's in Florida still.
I guess, yeah, that does not count.
Well, to be fair, I haven't been to many of them. I've been to Free Play at Dallas, which apparently is not like Cidercade is the one. Free Play is just where they were. I've been to 2-Bit Circus in LA. That's basically a big fat Dave and Buster's. I've been to the Coin Op in Chattanooga. Very small, but it's kind of quaint. It's nice. I like that they've got the cab in the center with the projector. Small space, but they make it work. And then Logan Arcade I've been to in Chicago. That's one that feels the most like an arcade. Like it was an arcade first and a bar second. I think for me, the Coin Op. Oh, I've also been to a Bari. I've mentioned that, but I've been to a Bari in the list that I'm saying from Charlotte. But I think the Coin Op, for my own personal taste, it's a nice spot because it has the back patio area. It's got food available. Like there's a kitchen you can order from, like some Chinese food. There aren't any other games in there I'd really want to play, except they have like a console area with 64 and some other stuff. But like, I think that bar also has the essence of the city really well. Like for example, a Bari is great, but there is nothing else around a Bari. Like Damar took me there one time, and it's like, oh, we're here, and I'm looking around, and it's typical North Carolina. Just like, here's a thing. There's nothing else around the thing. But yeah, Coin Op, like you can go outside, look down the street, look down the other street, go to a restaurant, you know, go to a little bookstore. Like you can kind of see your next destination from the bar. So I think for that reason, and Logan Arcade was like not in one of the best areas of town, I'm told. It's Chicago.
Not in the best of locations.
Right.
But, Special shout out.
Well, someone remember from Sebastian, he was talking. My wife was like, "What? It's not the best location," because we were there, my wife and I. But yeah, somebody got groped and punched out in front of Logan Arcade. So, not that it's a bad place, but didn't happen to coin up.
Hit him?
The what?
How hard did your wife hit him?
Oh no, well she probably would hit him really hard. But it was the girl who got groped. It was her dad, apparently, is the way the story goes, according to Sebastian. So.
Okay.
Yeah. If daddy coming, if he's a coming, you better be going, because you about to be knocked out.
What is your craziest Killer Queen travel story? That one's from Alex Santiago.
Oh man! All right, it's a Fire Nation story.
Okay.
There are several of them, and they all revolve around one particular team member whose name is Anthony motherfucking Hall.
All right.
People know this story. Like, some people know this story. This is not a secret to, like, I was not told, don't tell anyone. But if he watches, don't be mad at me, Anthony. You know which one I'm gonna say. So we're in Baltimore. We always get the team house. We're doing Airbnb. We find an Airbnb in Baltimore. Baltimore is not a great city. Baltimore is a pretty trash city. The area where we were was pretty trash. I got picked up from the airport, got in an Uber, and the Uber, first thing she tells me is, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to this area." "Oh, that's where they do the drugs." "Well, you better watch out because everybody's a pothead around here. Let me tell you, last time I was over," and just gave me her whole life story about alcohol and drug use in Baltimore, because she was old black lady. Had to be like 60. So that was my Uber driver in Baltimore. So this is the area, right? We found a nice Airbnb. What we think is really nice. It's like 3 stories. The interior looks great. The lights look great, and like all the furniture, and it's got brick on the inside. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is so dope, right? So we book it, and the first night, I wasn't there. They flew in early because Anthony went to like he went to DC to visit people or something, and then he drove to Baltimore. But Jabin and Brando and I want to say Patrick all went a little bit early. And then I flew on another flight, Spirit Airlines I think it was, to get there. So we didn't arrive at the same time. They spent a night in the house first, I want to say. So I get there. We go to the house, and they're talking about the house being haunted. And they're like, "Yeah, we were in here the other night, and like Jabin said he heard somebody going up the stairs, and like this is Patrick telling me, and like, there's some funky stuff going on in this house, and we don't know what the heck's going on." And so I'm there. It's daytime. I'm looking around, and like the house seems fine. It's got, like I said, 3 stories. But the trick about this house is the first floor is really light. Like the color scheme is really light. The walls are kind of light. The floor is lighter. The second floor, as you go up the stairs, the color scheme is a little bit darker. And then the third floor is like black. So it gets darker as you go up, which kind of leads to a bit of an unsettling feeling, I think. So with that in mind, we're going up the stairs. The third staircase, by the way, is like constructed poorly. So it kind of like is on a crook.
Wow.
So, and it definitely creaks when you go up it. The house is strange. It's very odd. There is one room at the top in the 3rd floor that literally has a piece of paper that says, "Do not enter." Note from the Airbnb, but like not helping with the vibes. Of course, we go in there, and there's just like sheets hanging, and like a mattress that's standing straight up, and a ladder that's open, and just some other weird things. Probably undergoing construction, but again, not helping the vibe. So we're trying to figure out where we're going to sleep. There's a room on the 3rd floor. Yeah, Alex. Spooky. Yeah, I think. Oh, my God. So I go up to the 3rd floor. There's another room up there. Not the creepy, don't go in there, you'll die room. But there's another room that has a bedroom. None of the TVs work, by the way. Patrick always checks the TVs. The TVs, you could turn them on, but they're just static, so they don't work. Okay. So they're all the Ring TVs. And yeah, I go in this room. It's a bedroom. It has a TV that doesn't work. It has one of these brick walls. I open the door. I go inside the room, okay? It's a bedroom door. I open the door. I go inside the room. I'm inside the room, And then I'm looking around, I'm checking the bed and like seeing, okay, is this where I want to sleep? And then I hear Brando yell at me from the second floor where he is. Joe, be careful of that door. And then the door fucking, I hear it fucking shut. But because Brando warned me and I heard him first, I wasn't as freaked out, and my brain just said, open the door again and see if it closes. So I'm like, oh shit. So I opened the door and it would just close on its own. It's this heavy ass door, it closed on its own. But I swear to God, if he didn't tell me that and it just closed, I would be like, just fucking freak the hell out. So this is all the vibe, right? I don't believe in ghosts. I don't do all that supernatural shit. I don't buy it. But it was not a good vibe house. So we're like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Anthony Hall arrives. Remember, he drove in. Anthony Hall arrives now. He gets up to the room where we're at. We've already decided all of us grown men are going to sleep together in this one room. There's not enough beds for everybody. Patrick, Brando, hug it up. Jabin on the couch. Me, I'm getting that fucking murder mattress from the third floor. We're going to drag it down here. I'll sleep on the murder mattress. Cool. We're inside the room. Anthony comes. What the fuck are you guys all doing in here? Hey, man, this house is haunted. You want to stay here? Nope. Going the fuck out of here. It's 2 a.m. I'm driving to my parents' house in D.C. Peace. And then Anthony fucking leaves. He leaves the house. He does not sleep there. Like he considered it for all of 2 seconds, and then he bugs the fuck out of there, man. He just goes, and it's late, and he's tired, and we're like, damn, dude, are you sure? Like, you gonna make it? He looked tired. He's like, nope, I'm good. Boom, gone. So me, Brando, Patrick sleeping in the same bed. And then Jabin just on like a couch chair thing, and then me on the murder mattress. That's how we spent the night in Baltimore.
That is absolutely insane, and I love it. That is, ooh, good question, Alex.
That's my craziest travel story, never to be replicated. And to this day, ask Anthony Hall. Ask him about the Baltimore house. Just see what he says.
I will. I'll ask him how he enjoyed sleeping there. All right, we're going back to some of Sebastian's questions.
God damn, Sebastian.
Oh, he really had fun. Do we have to?
Of course we have to.
Exactly.
If we don't, who's going to?
I don't get this. I don't get it. All right.
What kind of questions are this, Sebastian?
Seriously.
Do we have to?
Oh, this one's going to be fun. Who is the worst person to play with?
The worst person to play with?
Yeah.
An actual person.
I'd imagine.
Well, are we talking about an actual person, or are we talking about a type of person? No, I mean, Barry. Hey, don't talk about Barry. Barry is pretty damn good. Barry's gotten some snail victories for me. If it's a person, that's one thing. Is it a person, or you think a type of person?
Let's go with both. A person and a type of person.
Okay. My producer is telling me don't answer this question.
Okay, fair enough. I would honestly just be like, that dude last Tuesday was an asshole to play with, except we weren't there on Tuesday.
I'll answer it. I'll answer this. She thinks you're just always thinking I'm going to say the most ratchet bad thing. I know people are watching. No. Okay, so the worst type of person to play with is just a motherfucker that does not fucking listen. Just on the cab. Just doesn't understand that it's a team game, and god damn it, there's other people. It's not fucking... that's so annoying. Like... Even if it's new and whatever, like, Jesus, like, come on. Like, there's 5 people on the cab, and everyone's like, let's go do this. And this one motherfucker over here is like, guys, I'm on the snail. And it's like, you're by yourself. There's no one down there with you because we need one more berry. Could you just, like, please? We're gonna win by the snail, guys. I'm close. I'm fucking halfway there. But you're not.
Oh god.
That's the worst type of person. The person that just does not listen, right? Just doesn't listen. Can't play a team game like that. Worst person to play with in South Florida, for me personally. That's the question?
Yeah, sure. I know, that's a tough one.
It's not a tough one. I'm just trying to frame how to deliver the message. Yeah.
Okay. Look, I may be a bad interviewer.
No.
But I am a terrible person to play with. So it's okay. Hit me.
You're not.
You can hit me.
No. That wasn't coming for you.
I was just giving you the out there. Okay? That was me giving you the out.
That was the most gracious interview out. You offered yourself. You fucking.
I offered to roll that bus right over. I'm in. It's okay.
I can't even fucking do it, fucking Jay. Can't whistle. I'm laughing too damn hard. Okay.
Wow.
I have reasons for this. And they're valid reasons. No one likes to hear that this is them, but you know what? Maybe it'll be a growing opportunity. Maybe you never play again. Whatever. I can't say. I don't think this person's a bad person.
Okay.
I think that they have merit in the other things they do in life and whatever. But worst person for me personally to play with at South Florida, it is a real person. Mike Johnson.
Wow. I have no idea who that is.
Good dude. I think he's a good dude. But my experiences playing with him on the cab.
No good.
I've tried to defend the guy a couple times.
All right.
But just
any particular reason? Like,
I'll give you an example.
Well, no.
I'll give you an example.
You don't have to explain the reasons.
No. Well, I'll give you an example, a generic example. This comes back to like the type of person type of answer. The type of person who is happy when they win, but when they lose, they're unhappy. It's like a very personal, you know. Oh,
I feel
they
like
were
this
cheating.
Is coming back to me now.
They were, they were bullying me. They were only coming after me. Hey, I've got new people over here. Could you guys stop trying to, beat me so hard? I got new people. They don't know what they're doing. This isn't fun. But the second that they win, kick those guys' ass. Yeah. I don't like that.
Okay, fair enough.
I gotta expound on this a little bit more, Joe, if I can. The reason I don't like it is because I don't feel, and I think anybody who's played in the national scene, whenever you're playing with new people, this is always kind of rubs you the wrong way in a way. I know JP feels the same way, but like you have skill in this game, right? You're talented. You know what you're doing. You kind of know what to do. You're playing with a bunch of new people. They have no idea. On the other side of the cap, they have no idea either. So like you can basically choose when to lose and win a game when you're in that setting, right? You just lock all the gates, or you just guard the hive, and then like they can't do anything. So I feel it rubs me the wrong way when I feel like I've contributed that much to a victory for a team, and then they kind of take that contribution and use that as the opportunity to then belittle their opponents.
Really?
It's like I give someone money to help them out because they need money for rent. And then they take it and say, I'm rich, bitches. Look at all you broke motherfuckers. Ha ha, ha 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 ha. And they like just kind of use it as a flaunting. That's kind of the way I take it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go play on the other side. And then just destroy all you guys who'd had this big head to think you're so good. And these guys just suck so bad that you had to talk shit to them. Like, you suck as much as they do. Like,
why are you so fucking big-headed? Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, that rubs me the wrong way. Those people.
All right. To me, I would have just said the people that punched the screen on the cab, but
Oh,
hey.
God. Murder them. We haven't had those issues since the plexiglass, though, so thank God.
Okay. Why is Joe making us ask questions? I'm putting every single question that was asked.
You're making him come on, guys. We got to ask questions.
I am not making them do it. I am literally just asking them if they'd like to ask you anything.
He's got a point. That's true. That's true. You're not making anybody do anything.
Oh, I mean,
why do you think that? I think that's the answer. Why do you think that?
Exactly. What did I do to Sebastian to make him feel this way? And
Sebastian's the same person that asks, "Do we have to?" Knowing full well the answer is yes. So
yes, exactly. Can you tell Sebastian is bored right now?
Oh hell yeah, Sebastian's been bored for a long time.
For real, telepathically speaking, quarantine. We know he's bored.
No, I know right now, like right in this particular moment, Philip is sick of his shit.
Oh yeah, and Philip does not deserve that at all. Philip is too cool. What you drinking?
William Shakespeare. We're not here at the beginning of the notes. Well, I'm not drinking it now. It's all gone. Got a little bit.
What are numbers?
Numbers are imaginary constructs developed by the man to keep the people down.
Amazing answer. All right.
Animals don't know numbers.
Nothing make a person happy. I'm asking this for the people that win KQ tournaments.
Can what make a person happy?
Can achieving nothing make a person happy?
can achieving nothing make a person happy? And the second part was they're asking for who?
You're asking for the people who win KQ tournaments. So here's where I'm going to basically say yes. Because winning a fictitious achievement is... All achievements are basically created and fake and not real. So yeah, winning a fake achievement. Nothing.
Oh, it's like that, like achieving something that doesn't have value.
Yeah, I think Sebastian wanted me to basically sound disparaging to the KQ community, but honestly, I enjoy winning my tournaments.
Well,
and
let me. If I'm treating it like a real question, right? I mean, you always achieve something. You know.
Exactly, and that's the thing. If everything else is achieved, the presidential fitness test is created. Nobody actually goes, you know what? I need to run a 4-minute mile. Nobody ever goes in the morning and just wakes up and goes, 4-minute mile time. I'm off, guys. Bye. Boom.
If you don't know what the presidential fitness test is, I don't know if they do that anymore.
I don't know if they do either, but I'd be sad if they stopped.
I remember it. But yeah, I mean, you could.
If it ever turns into the presidential Mario Kart race, then we got some real problems.
Right, yeah. You could achieve nothing. That's an achievement. I achieved nothing today. I thought of nothing. That's an achievement. Happy.
That is an achievement. And so, in all honesty, I believe that achieving nothing does make people happy. And so we took it to the meta degree. All right, let's go. Does utilizing time properly make our lives meaningful and happy in Killer Queen?
God damn it, Sebastian. See a therapist.
Best of answers. God damn it, Sebastian.
Go see a therapist. You got some existential crisis questions.
Yeah. Also, I somehow missed this question. How's the wife?
She's great. She's right here. She's not coming on camera. She's been having a time of her life.
Can I ask for a special favor for me?
Sure.
Could she please wish you happy birthday the way she did at midnight last night? Please. Because some people are not on your story.
He saw the Instagram story.
Yeah.
Where I was talking about how you wished me happy birthday. You don't have to get up and come over here.
Yes, she does.
You
she
just have
does absolutely have to come over here.
You just have to be loud enough to pick up on the mic.
No, tell her to come over.
There you go.
Wait, I couldn't hear her. Tell her to come closer to the mic.
You did say it twice, so here you go. No, don't. Just give it a shot. I'm trying to help you out.
Happy birthday!
There we go. All right, fantastic.
She's so cute. She puts her hands up to her face to punch her sound out more. She creates little sound walls fantastic. To throw her voice.
Thank her for sticking around all this time. That was literally what I wanted her there for, because
that was the question. I see.
To be fair, that was magical, so I'm not going to take it away. Let me ask you a question. Will robots take over the world in the future?
Absolutely. NVIDIA just came out with some AI thing. Absolutely, yeah. iRobot. It's just pick your movie. I hope it's iRobot.
iRobot was good.
Yeah,
all right, let's see. This one's the heavy one. Can dreams be associated with the unforeseen future? Sebastian dreams that he's the best queen in South Florida, but he also has nightmares that undesirables win Killer Heat. He needs answers, and he needs them now. And I, if I'm not mistaken, your wife is a doctor. Could she recommend a good psychologist for Sebastian?
She's not that kind of doctor, but she could probably still recommend a good psychologist for Sebastian.
Yeah, we're going to need some help there, but I appreciate
Who the
Sebastian.
Fuck are undesirables?
Undesirables.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that is the question.
I can tell. You know, I will credit Sebastian with this. If he does nothing else for the scene, he's very good at stirring up shit, which at least causes activity. So I'm down for it. Don't let your dreams be dreams, I guess is what I'll say.
Yeah. All right. Well, but still need to get an answer. Can dreams be associated with the unforeseen future?
Dreams can definitely be associated. It's manifestation is what you're talking about. So I think things get manifested in their own right, like this show. Like people have decided this is going to be a thing, therefore it is. So in the same way, if you kind of decide in your subconscious dreamscape that you're going to be the best at something, or you're going to achieve something, or you're going to reach some kind of a mark, then your conscious efforts backing up the subconscious layer should meet to that end, and then at some point they will intersect and you have done the thing you set out to do.
Yeah.
I believe it was best told by a man from Nantucket.
Okay. If this involves anything in Paris, we need to walk away from this.
No? Okay, all right.
Okay. Good. No, I'm just making sure that this wasn't going into a naughty limerick. I was just making sure.
Or maybe it was the man from Peru. I think in SpongeBob it was the man from Peru.
You don't want to know the more. You don't want to know anymore.
No.
All right.
This is important. Wait, it was SpongeBob, I think. But it was like, that speaking line they have. It's, there once was a man from Peru who dreamt he was eating his shoe. He woke in the night, he woke with a fright in the middle of the night to realize his dream had come true. So there you go.
That is fantastic. I like that a lot. All right, and lastly, this one's just my personal. I didn't realize that you were so much of an activist in your personal life.
Oh yeah.
Because I just see you playing Killer Queen. We talk Killer Queen. We eat, breathe, and sleep Killer Queen whenever we're talking about it. But I never realized that you were so active in a social aspect.
Yeah.
Recently, you've been walking at work for what was the name of the individual that you're walking in honor of?
Ahmaud Arbery. Yeah, that was
Thank you.
That was last Friday.
Yeah, and basically,
Well, 2 Fridays ago. It was last Friday. It was the 8th. It was the 8th. So not yesterday, but last Friday. Yeah.
So okay, I just wanted to go ahead and bring attention to that because that's always a good thing to be active and social in certain respects and with regards to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the lazy J.
Yeah,
We're
man.
done.
I mean, touching on that for like half a second, like I think being a minority in general, especially for me, like I can speak to my experience. That's a black experience. Ahmaud Arbery, that's a black guy, gets shot. They say, hey, let's run with Ahmaud. And the whole thing is just like, when those types of things happen, there was another instance, the guy didn't die, thankfully, but like there was a guy in Oklahoma he's like a delivery driver, for Uber or Amazon or something. And he drives into a gated neighborhood, gets the code from the front, security. I'm a delivery driver, got a package, this address, cool, goes in, drops the package, and then he's trying to get out, and some guys block his car in and start asking him, what are you doing here? Why are you here? How'd you get in? Who gave you the gate code? We just want to know what you're doing here. And it's like, go get the fuck out of here. Like, it's just like it just rubs you the wrong way, right? Because you just know if the situation was reversed or if it was a different kind of person in that delivery truck, no one would care. Just no one would care. And I think it does go across the lines. Like, I don't think black people are just like so righteous that we don't do the same types of things. Like if we ever see a white person or some non-black person walking in a very black part of the neighborhood or going to the barber shop or going to Betty's Soul Food, and you're walking in with Sean and Whitney, like, yeah, we're going to give you some looks. I'm certain of that. But I do think that there's a barrier when it comes to like, I now feel like I need to do something about you. Like, you should not be here. Let me like try to assume some type of authoritative position over you because you don't belong. I think that that's kind of a line that doesn't get crossed as much from the minority side of the fence to the majority side of the fence. So it's not necessarily a mentality, I think, that's like prevalent. There's always exceptions to the rule. There's never like a blanket statement for anything. In the same way, apparently not all white people are bad. Like that's a thing. But you hear these stories, you hear them often, they're in the news, and it just makes you wonder, what the fuck are we doing? And when is this type of stuff gonna go around? So I do think that, I don't post things and talk about things. I wouldn't even almost necessarily consider myself to be an activist outside of the idea that I'm just a person that, kind of fits these narratives. But it's rough. So I think that the more we talk about it in a social kind of way and just kind of get more people to understand that, like, hey, dude, like, if that was your insert somebody you care about here, how would you feel? And like, that's it. That's literally the end of the conversation. The answer is, I'd feel bad. I'd feel upset. Okay, you understand. We understand each other. Great. Done.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
hard.
not too difficult to do. But in all honesty, I would say that you're actually pushing those boundaries by actually doing the activities that you've been doing in your own personal time.
It feels nice to actually be able to do something. You know, it's kind of like, what the fuck's it gonna do? Like, is it gonna change anything? Probably not. But it just feels good to be able to.
You actually made an effort to try to walk a mile on issues.
Yeah. So I feel good about that.
And you should. It was awesome. Good stuff. All right, that was the Lazy J.
Boom. This is the greatest day. This is just the greatest day.
Fucking done. Close it out.
I'm closing it out. I'm closing myself out. I'm getting out of here.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.